on a very good theme. We're going to talk about mature markets, emerging travel trends,
established tourism markets and engineering trends reshaping air travel behavior worldwide. As global tourism continues to recover and innovate, understanding these shifts is essential for staying competitive. Moderating this session is Mehmet Nane, Chairperson of Pegasus Airlines. Mr. Nane, a very important person. Thank you very much, Mr. Nane. And the panelists are Franck Mereyde, Chairman of the Executive Committee and Executive Board Member, TAV Airports. Welcome. Dave Dorner, CEO, Celebi Group. Hello, Mr. Dorner. Ve Yıldıray Karaer, Chairman of the Board, Corendon Group. Hoş geldiniz efendim.
Welcome. The floor is yours, Mr. Mehmet Nane.
We have a nice 2 days, so we are coming almost to the end. So we're going to have almost 30 minutes to talk. And here we have 3 distinguished guests. They are all leaders in their field and doing really big international business. And what we are doing as an aviation, we are the first and the last welcomers of the tourists to our country. With the carriers, with the airports, with the services, ground handling, and the catering issues. So, Franck, as the TAV and Airport de Paris, is operating in 32 different countries and 120 airports. They in 6 countries and 70 airports, but among those countries, one of them is India. So if you divide to the average country size of India, so you can say he's managing at least additional 20 countries because India is a big destination. And Mr. Yıldıray, he is flying to, and he owns also hotels, he has both hats, to 10 different countries and 30 different airports. So we would like to discuss with you today, what are the issues from the aviation perspective in the markets which are developing, and what are the trends affecting us, and how we are coping in our day-to-day business with these trends in order to support the tourism and be a hand in hand together. So, Franck, word is yours.
Thank you, Mehmet. As you mentioned, airport and aviation, we are the first and last point for tourism. We are talking about also mature market. To come to Turkey, the easiest way is to fly. It means that you need aircraft, you need, of course, airport, and you need to connect airport to the touristic area. And as airport, currently we are investing in Turkey more than €1 billion with our partners to increase capacity, to be sure that on our airport we will welcome all airlines and of course all passengers with enough capacity, no bottleneck, limit waiting time, to take care also about different profile of passengers. We need this kind of segmentation. Some premium tourists want to have access to lounge business, some want very fast-track solution, some want more cheapest solution. It means that we provide the capacity, we provide the efficiency for airline to do it in a proper way, fast, at a cost-efficient way, and to address all kinds of segments. And what we explain to our partners and abroad, and with all the Turkish team, is that when they come to Turkey, for this first step and when they leave the last step, we can offer a very efficient, comfortable, and affordable service.
Thank you. Dave?
Well, I think it's very appropriate that I'm sitting between airports and airlines. But obviously, we're taking care primarily of the aircraft and also the passengers. And our big, I guess, efforts are to serve efficiently, make sure that people can get in and out, airlines can get in and out efficiently, and in a very cost-effective way. Obviously, the more people can afford to fly, the more people can come for tourism. And so if we can make it at our port and making it more affordable, then that's a big part of our initiative to serve within the airport to the airlines in a very cost-efficient way and, of course, in a very safe way. The other, I think, big thing for us is as we see the future of, let's say, pressures coming on being more green and more sustainable, it's to do what we can do within the airport in serving the airlines in a much greener way. And I think we'll talk more about that in a minute.
Okay, we're talking about cost efficiency, but as a airline company, well, these days we cannot talk about cost efficiency because every day costs are increasing. Labor cost is increasing. Airport costs are increasing. Governmental tax, airport tax, every day is increasing. And on top of it, because of environmental reasons, airports are much more limited. Number of slots, compared to the earlier times, is less and less. Our main market is the Dutch market. We are very heavily flying out of Amsterdam. It was, before 550 slots a year. Now, because of the environmental reasons, they decreased up to 350 slots. That's also makes the ticket or seat and flights is more expensive, much more valuable. Another issue is carbon emission. The carbon emission is extra additional cost inside the flights inside Europe, because we are flying from Europe to Turkey, then there is no yet carbon emission cost, but for the flights inside Europe, we pay really huge money. It's that's an extra cost. Then the coming years, I think the flying is not going to be very cheap. It's going to be more expensive.
So we can say that Turkey as a country is a developing country, but certain industries, including tourism, we are a developed country, and we are in one of the top 5 tourism destinations as a country in the whole globe. So there are certain trends in the industries. If you look at, make a fast Google search or ask ChatGPT, they will say about what are the mega trends. These are shortage of talent, supply chain disruptions, sustainability, both business and environment-wise, technological developments and AI, and increasing costs. This is also valid for our industry also. When you look at from your perspective and doing business in Turkey, what are the challenges in these areas, in these trends, the global trends affecting all of us in the coming years? Because each year we're breaking a new record as a country. Last year 56, now this year we're saying 61.5. Next year we're targeting over 65 million tourists. So if you can elaborate on, from your own perspective, how these trends are going to affect you, and what are you doing as a company in order to cope with these trends?
As a company, for us, one of the benefits when you are worldwide and international is that you can attract talent who want to have also opportunity to access to international jobs. It means that we have colleagues working in Turkey, but we give them opportunity in many other countries, and then they come back. It's a way to attract talent. Another way to attract talent is to work on the culture of the company. Young generation, more than half of the people on the earth will be Z or Alpha generation. In the way to work, we are working a lot on this, also to include more this profile where their expectations are different than older generation, and we try to mix much more generation to have top manager and able to understand much younger people. Environment is we are committed to reach zero emission, zero carbon emission. Our environment is not only carbon, but carbon is a big part of it. And I think it's one of the big challenges for the country. But at the same time, we are moving, I think, in Turkey quite fast on topics like renewable energy. When we look at what is on the ground, like airport or hotels, it's, compared to other countries, quite easy to implement renewable energy. And if you look at our company, TAV Airports, if I look at Ankara, Izmir, Bodrum, we will have more than 30% of our needs end of next year covered by our own solar panel. In Antalya, we are doubling the capacity of the airport itself, and we are increasing solar panel also. It means that on this topic, we can, I think we are moving. For the whole country, renewable energy and environment, I think, is like other countries, is a big challenge. But I think we have a lot of assets to be successful, thanks to the sunny place where we are, and or in some place to the windy place where we are. And last is about digital AI. Population in Turkey is in average below 30 years old. And we are finding many talented people. It means that we include digital AI in all our solutions. And as TAV Airport, even we export our digital solution. It means that we have a company, TAV Technology, doing software for airport. More than 2/3 of the users are not our airport, it's other countries. And it is produced in Turkey to support efficiency, digitalization, hospitality, making life easier for the customer. I think we have many assets here.
Thank you, Franck. Dave?
Maybe I can pick up on a couple of those themes. I mean, I think I'll go with the green first. Obviously, our challenge is to reduce our own footprint and try where we can to reduce the footprint for the airlines. So for our own footprint, I can give some example of we've grown, let's say, 18 to 20% this year flight count versus last year. But from a peak carbon emission perspective, we're down 10% as we move towards more and more electrification of our fleet. When I look at the airline side, we have a very innovative service, unfortunately not in Turkey, but in India, where we taxi out the aircraft without the engines running. We can save the aircraft roughly 100 to 300 liters of fuel per turn, which is actually more expensive or more savings than our service itself. So we can actually save the carrier more than what the entire service costs. But it also is obviously much greener. And I think that kind of efficiency and both cost efficiency and sort of with a green impact actually links directly to the people question that you asked. I think more and more when we're trying to recruit people, they're looking for companies that have the values that they share. So when you can show them what your values are and they align with those, it's easier to attract. So I think that's an important part of our, let's say, corporate branding towards employees, is that this is a place you want to work because of the things that we're doing and we're committed to. I guess also on that line of retaining and keeping people, as Franck mentioned, one of the things we're able to do is in markets, and particularly in markets where we're able to attract more staff, we actually cross-utilize in other countries. So we'll take, for several years, we've taken people from Turkey and India into Hungary to serve for short periods. They love it. They think it's a great experience. It's a cross-fertilization of people, but it's also a great attraction for people. So much as you said, but it doesn't just have to be senior management, it can even be frontline staff. So I think those are some of the things we're trying to do to get the people and retain them.
Yıldıray.
Okay. As a company, we are a travel organization, tour operator, the holiday airline, and hotel management company. Of course, the market is changing. Last couple of years, couple of different tour operators. Because before I say that, I have to say our destinations depends on the tour operator destinations, and our business model is, I think, it's 75% tour operator oriented business model. That's the danger, of course. Last couple of years, some tour operators are stopped the operation. One of the biggest one, Thomas Cook, and recently FTI Group, it's a stopped operation. It's a big danger for the future, for the holiday destinations and holiday organization. That's the danger. And then what we trying to do for that is to improve our business model. We cannot change the destinations because we're still flying the holiday destinations, but we try as a tour operator and also the airline to create our own passengers. And well, maybe 20 years ago, as a tour operator, we were organizing package holidays to Istanbul. But the trend is completely changed. Now, none of any tour operator organizing the holiday packages, 2 days, 3 days, holiday packages to Istanbul anymore, because the consumer, they are used to book with the online their hotels, and also to book their flights from the low-cost company like Pegasus and also the others. And for our holiday destinations, that can be the same problem coming maybe 10 years. So that every hotel, every tour operator, every airline needs to create their own passengers. And now, these days, we can see lots of airlines, they created their own holiday organization, like Turkish Airlines, like Eurowings, you name it. Many airlines, low-cost airlines and legacy airlines, they created their holiday segments. Now, maybe that's the future because, the consumer, they like to book more and more online. The hotels, all the holiday organizations and flights and rent-a-car and transfer and everything. I think it's going to be the new trends.
Thank you. So when we look at the next year's target in Turkey, we are targeting 65 million customers. During these 2 days, we discussed with the distinguished guests and the panelists how we are making investment and what are the new areas of making investment in Turkish tourism and how we can expand the summer tourism into 12 months. What are the other means of accommodation besides the hotels and what we can do, and what are the future prospects? You're working in different areas, but all supporting tourism also within the country. So from your own responsibility area, are we ready for the next year or the new coming records in this country? What are you doing in order to cope with this? Are you changing, as Yıldıray Bey mentioned, the way of doing business from ancient systems into more modern systems, from writing into digitalization? How ready you are in order to support these new records coming from our industry on the tourism side?
We are very high focused on off-peak season or low season. If we look at some airports like Antalya, in summer we have more than 200,000 passengers a day. In winter we have less than half. It means that it's same for the hotel. Hotel in summer can welcome a lot of passengers. In winter, in a region like Antalya, many closed even in winter. Meaning that the capacity is here. The service we are able to deliver during summer is great. In winter, it's even better because it's not at full capacity, but at, let's say, half or two-thirds. It means that there is a huge room to grow also at the, I will not say opposite of the season, but if you look at October, November, or March, April, this part of the year, many of the capacity from the whole chain, from the flight to the hotel, activities are underused. It means that we can increase at the country level a lot the number of tourism if we are able to address this part. It's not just copy-paste. It means that we need to address also various different kind of activities. In winter, there is already a lot of activities focused on golf, but we need to address more niche markets. Biking, hiking, mountains, all of this, and each of them, you can add 250,000 tourists, 500,000 tourists. And for this, we are working also with the Turkish ecosystem. It's not one player alone, it's the whole chain. If you do golf, you need to travel with your equipment, or you can have this, we should have this facility. It starts from your house to go to the airport, to fly, but also if we address other topics like biking, you must be able to rent on site. And this is one point, off-season, or developing more tourism at the limit before or after the peak. Another one, we should be more aware that in the country we are able to address all segments of tourism. Time to time there is kind of caricature saying that, for example, Antalya is mass tourism or Bodrum is niche tourism. We have beautiful historical place, nature, mountains and so on in many other regions. It means that we should, and we are working on it with the Turkish ecosystem, including Tourism Development Agency, how to promote other segments where the region is wonderful but not well known enough yet.
Well, on that same topic, I think you're going to see a lot more flights to smaller destinations as well, and I think that's part of the segmentation that Franck mentioned. Is what can you see not just in Antalya or on the Mediterranean coast or the Aegean coast, but what can you see in central Anatolia? What can you see in eastern Turkey? What can you see on the Black Sea coast? And we're already seeing that, of course. We're seeing certain segments, and there's a geographic split, I would say, but there's a lot of tourism into Cappadocia, maybe from Asia, Japanese tourism. A lot of Middle Eastern tourism into Rize and Antalya, and Trabzon. So I think we'll see more and more of that, let's say, segmentation into more locations, not just the biggest locations. And I think what we can do on our side, again, you have to make it efficient even in a small location where you don't have the volumes. We can do as in an area where we do kind of overlap, you can have good lounge, you can have good meet and greet, you can try to treat the passengers when they're arriving, when they're departing extra specially, even in those smaller locations. So those are the kinds of things that we can do, I think, to sort of promote a good experience in less traveled places for the tourism.
Yıldıray.
Okay, of course, we are in tourism, and in tourism there is a seasonality problem, the winter and summer. What we do, as an airline, when it comes to winter, we start flying the winter sun destinations. Even we are at the moment operating in India, because it's a high season over there. But what we do extend the holiday season in Turkey is we trying to combine the tourism with the sports. Like in Belek area, there are 18 golf courses. These golf courses, of course, encourage some, source countries like England, Germany, Russia, Ukraine, to Turkey, because, it's the best time to play golf. It's a shoulder season and a winter season. In Turkey, it's still very good weather conditions. On top of it, what we do is we build football fields, and we encourage football tourism for the football camps during the winter period in Turkey. And also our new project, we built 14 tennis courts in Kemer area, and now we start building 15 padel court, and then we like to create same as like football tourism or golf tourism. We like to create tennis and padel tourism in Kemer area, and then in that way we can fill the shoulder season also the winter season in Turkey. That's the one step we can make, and it's the one kind of investment we can make. And also what we do, we have hotel investment in the Caribbean area. When it comes to winter, it's a high season over there, a low season here. We transfer all our personnel from Turkey to Caribbean. That's also another way to overcome the seasonality problem.
Perfect. So before I go for the summary of our panel, would you like to say anything? You have a minute, all three of you. Anything you missed to add?
Just to highlight again that welcoming more passengers in off-season and increasing awareness of a lot of niche opportunities out of a basic sunbed vision of some place, highlighting all historical things and so on, I think is a huge asset to develop.
Dave?
I think one of the things, and we may have all touched on it a bit, is it really is, I think, cross-cultural exchange. I mean, I think the extent, and because we're in India is a major location for us, trying to do a lot of work with the diplomatic community to try to build cultural bridges, because there's a lot of opportunity for increased tourism with different countries if you have a good relationship with that country and they find you an attractive place. So I think part of it is, diversifying the marketing from Europe, which is very close and great, Middle East, also close and great, but there are great other pools of tourism and cross-cultural exchanges. So I'd like to see a lot more India-Turkey traffic.
Thank you. Yıldıray Bey.
Okay, well, next to me there is one airport authority and one handling company. I would like to ask, more support to the airlines.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, thank you for listening us. If I have to summarize what was spoken, we are ready as a part of the tourism industry on the aviation side for the new records. But we also believe that we have to expand the tourism in Turkey for 12 months, not only for certain seasons, but for 12 months. And increasing number is very important, but at the same time, they call it share of wallet. We have to make more money from per passenger, per tourist coming to our country. So we have twofold of businesses to do at that point. And we are, as the supporters of the tourism industry and as an inevitable part of the tourism, we are ready to, as an aviation industry, to support these new records, increasing the share of wallet, and we are ready to cope with the global talents, global aviation, especially on the sustainability and green side, with our respective companies. And we are also ready in order to, for the technological developments, supply chain disruptions. We have some difficulties to manage the costs, but we're going to do it at the end of the day, because cost is nowadays a problem for everyone, and costs are increasing the product that we're producing and decreasing our margins. So we can say to our allies on the tourism side, as an aviation, we are ready to support you. Keep moving. Thank you. So.